Hi, my name is Muhammad Arif. I'm a software engineer with IBM UrbanCode Deploy. In this video, I'm going to show you how to compare WebSphere configuration stored in UrbanCode Deploy or UCD and a live running WebSphere environment. This setup requires that UCD has WebSphere Deploy and WebSphere Configure plugins installed. In this demo, we'll be using component and application processes, user roles, calendar, and notification schemes, and how we set them up. Now, let's look at the UCD. I'm going to start the demo by copying an existing process in component server config. These processes are installed by WebSphere config plugin. Let's call the new process live comparison with get result. Let's add a step called get result. Yes, the exact name is WebSphere get compare result. Let's look at the step. Fail when difference is found. I'm going to check this box so that the process fails when there are differences detected. Let's connect the process and then save it. This is the application where we need to create a process to run the component process we created earlier. Let's copy an existing process to create a new one. We're going to call this server comparison. Let's add a new step to call the component process. The component server config and the process live compare with get result. Now let's connect it. And delete the steps not needed. Now let's go to the application configuration to enable notification scheme. There's only one scheme, default notification scheme that we will use. Now we need to tell UCD what notification to use when the application process fails or succeeds. So we go to notification entries. The role is administrator to receive the message. Event type is process success. And the template to use is deployment success. Let's save it. And now create one for failure. Again, role administrator. Event type process failure. Template deployment failure. Now let's set the administrator to receive notifications. Now let's look at the administrator set for the team associated with the application. Was team is the team here. Was admin is the user set as an administrator. and the WAS admin account info is here and the email associated. Let's look at the role. Again, the role is administrator for WAS admin. Now let's go to the application and look at the configuration for application to see the team. Here is the WAS team. For sending notifications, we need to provide mail server information to the UCD system settings. This is where we specify mail server information and the sending user email address. Now that we have set up the application process, component process, notification schemes, mail server, now look at the environment and resource used for running the process. So we go to the environment and check the resource set to run the process. Now we go to the application environment to run the process. Server comparison is the process. The version of server config component. Okay, and submit. The process completed without doing anything because the server config component has not been added to the application server resource. Here is the application server that we want to add the component to. Server config, save the resource. Now we go to the application and the application environment to run the process. Server comparison, version, and submit. Okay, process completed. So let's look at the comparison report. Let's go inside, expand server 1, Java process, JVMs, and JVM properties which differed. So it's the initial and maximum heap sizes which are different. Now let's look at get compare result, input, and output properties. The reason we saw failure was that there were differences discovered. Let's see if the UCD server has sent any emails. Yes, there is one. Let's go inside. And here is the link to the execution result. It's the same execution result we saw earlier. Let's go to the comparison report. And here are the change children's. It will show that the initial and maximum heap sizes on the live application server has changed. Here is the get compare result properties. So the notification did its job. Now let's schedule this process to run sometime in future. In calendar, click on schedule process button. Select the application, the environment to run on, choose the server comparison process, choose the version, set clock time, so we set the clock time for 6 p.m. It is past 6 p.m. now, so let's check if the process ran. Yes, it did. Let's check the mail. Yes, a mail had come in at 6:01 p.m. Let's check the execution log by going from mail. Here is similar result, but from the last run at 6 p.m. These are the same differences that we saw earlier because nothing changed. Thank you for watching the demo.